Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can you confirm? Okay, all right, fine. Okay, fine. All right. So, how is the course going? Have you gone through the content? Week 10 content. It is about testing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any issues? Any queries on week 10 content?
So the screencast video, what were sir explaining, we understood some part, but some are unclear.
Okay. Anything in specific?
In the PyTest, when the fixtures were used, then
Okay. Okay, fine. All right. So, yeah. So in today's session, we will be trying to cover those things. Okay. So basically, we will start off with basics of what PyTest is, and go ahead with creating small test cases, and then move on to other useful things in PyTest. Things like fixtures, also one of it, and then in the last part of the session, we'll be creating an application, a small application, and we'll also create the test cases to test whether the application works fine or not, right? So I mean, as a developer or as the tester, we can define what things we need to test for a particular application, right? So first we'll create a small application, and then we will create test cases to test whether the application is working fine or not. Okay, but before doing that, we need to understand what these test cases are, how do we create them, and how do we make sure that they run properly and give us the input. How do we understand what output the test case gives? Okay, so that is what we are going to study today. We have taken a very similar session in the previous term also. So some of you may have, if you have got the chance to go through, this will be very similar to that. But if you have not got the chance to go through it, no worries. We will be going through the same content, but trying to explain it as per your doubts. Okay. So with that, I'll start. But yeah, so Manan has raised his hand. Manan, please go
So
ahead.
today we are discussing the practical aspects of testing and security of applications.
Testing today, security probably in the next week.
Okay. So different tests which we learned in week 10 that we are trying to, I mean,
Yeah, right. So we will start off with creating a small test cases. How do we, understand what these test cases are, and how to create them, how to test, how to test a particular function, things like that. Start off with that, and we'll create application and test that.
oh,
Okay. So then when it comes to security, we will see that in the next week. Okay.
yes.
All right. So with that, I'll share my screen. Just a minute. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Just open the week 10 content. Okay, so in the week 10, I've just created a file. I mean, this is the the conventional thing that we go through after before every practical session. So what we have done is we have created a folder that is week 10, and we are going to open VS Code here. So we'll be working with VS Code only. I'll keep the command prompt open because we might need it later. So I'll just maximize it and increase the font size so that it is visible for you. Okay, so and on the same prompt, I'll open VS Code because there we'll be creating the files. Okay, so we need to install PyTest first. I have it already installed, but if you have not installed it yet, what you can do is, if you are following along, what you can do is just open PyTest, and you can see that this you can run this command, right? Pip install PyTest. Okay, sometimes you might want to use pip install -u PyTest. So I'll just paste that in chat also.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, so the U is capital. Sometimes you might want to do it, but if it is working with this also, pip install PyTest, the same way we install other modules of Python, then it is fine. Okay, So I have already installed PyTest, so I will not be installing it. But if you're working, you can install. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll start off with creating a file that is, let's say, uh, underscore file.py. Okay, so this is my first file. Okay, so this is my first file. And what we will be doing here is we will be creating one function and a test case for it. Okay, so first I'll do, what I'll do is I'll just create a function. Okay, and let's say it can be any random function just doing something, right? So let's say to map. This is the function. What it does is, let's say, it takes two values, x and y. Okay, and then I'll create a variable that basically gives you the sum of square of x and y. Okay, so it will be x square plus y square. Okay, sorry, not gap here. Okay, so what does it return? It returns the sum of squares of all the arguments that we are providing. Okay, and okay, that is what it does. So this is the function. Okay, now I'll write a test case for it. So what will be the test case? Basically, what we want to do is check whether the output of this function matches something or not. Okay, so let me just show you with the help of example. Okay, so what I'll do is case one. Okay, so this is just a function. Okay, just like any other function. But the thing is, this function case one basically test whether this function works fine or not. Okay, so or the output is verified or not with some values. Okay, so basically what we use is we use a keyword called assert. Okay, so this is something that you may have right. So this keyword is something that you may maybe seeing while watching week 10 videos. Okay, so basically what it does is it is like an if else or if statement that returns true if the condition that follows the assert keyword is true. Okay, otherwise it returns false. Okay, and since we are talking about a test case, what happens when this particular condition that is following this assert keyword is true, the test case by itself becomes true, or the test case by itself passes, otherwise it fails. Okay, so what is the condition here? Let's say I'll do this. Okay, so 2 comma 3, what will be the answer for? I guess 13. So if this is true, this complete test case passes. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we are testing whether this do math function that we have created works fine or not. How do we make sure that it works fine or not? It gives the required result, right? So in our case, the answer should be 13. If, or in this particular case. Okay, so if this happens, if this condition is true, then the assert statement is true. And if the assert statement is true, the complete test case that we have defined, case one, by itself becomes true, that is passed. Okay, now how do we check that? So I'll just save it. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll just open the terminal that I've already opened. Okay, I hope this is visible, the font. Okay, and if had it been a simple Python module, let me show you. So a simple Python module, how do we run it? We write Python command, and the name of the module. Okay, so what is the name of the module? myfile.py. Okay, but we are this is what we do in general, right? But what do we want to do is we want to run this my.py and test all the test cases defined within myfile.py. Okay, we don't want to run it, we want to test it. Okay, so the interface for testing is different than simply running the module. Okay, and for that we will not use Python, we will directly use PyTest. All right, so if you do PyTest space myfile.py, what it does is it will run this module as a test, as a test case, complete a test file, and select all the test cases that are defined. So what is the test case defined? In this case, this is the test case, right? This is the actual function, line number 1, 2, 3. But line number 5, 6 is the test case. So it will select that and then give us the result. Okay, let us see what it gives for now. Okay, so basically what it does, it is running, but it is running at not like a normal module. But see, if you see here, it shows that the test session starts. Okay, so when I run a module with PyTest, starting with PyTest instead of Python, it runs it as a test module. Okay, and the session for the test starts here. Okay, now what is happening within the session? When the session start, what is happening? So it talks about Python version and other things, but this is important, right? So it says that it has collected 0 items. What is this items? This items refer to test cases. Okay, test cases, all the test cases. But here, since though we had one function and one case defined, one test case defined, it is not able to understand what this is. Okay, hence it could not connect anything. It could not collect anything, and therefore it says collected 0 items.
There's one question. I don't know why I'm getting an error of the term PyTest is not a recognized name of CMD LET. Why is this error coming?
That may be because it is not installed. Have you installed it?
Okay. I've installed it. Pip install PyTest, right?
Okay.
Can you just show the installation procedure? Because I also tried to install, but it is not taking.
Okay. Okay, so did you try with the command that I gave on the chat?
Yes,
install,
yes, sir.
FNU PyTest.
So this we have to run in CMD or in the VS Code, sir, terminal?
CMD.
CMD, okay. Achha.
Do it on CMD, because then it it does not matter where you open it, but it should be in the terminal. Okay, so you can do it here also. Just open a new terminal and do it here. Okay, so in my case, it says that it is trying to run, and then it is successfully what is that? Yeah, successfully.
Uninstalled.
Yeah, so initially it was it was already there, but then it upgraded it. Okay, did this happen in your system?
No, sir. I'm
No,
getting
no.
an error.
Same here.
Okay, what is the error? Can you show? I'll just stop sharing.
Manan, are you sharing or should I share?
You can share, sir.
Okay, can you, all right, so can you try with command prompt? This is PowerShell. Yeah, same command, pytest and then myfile.py. Okay, all right. So what was okay? What was the error? Can you try this pip install -u pytest?
Sir, for me it worked. Yeah, now it worked.
Okay, that's good. Just a minute. This PyTest is not recognized. This is not able to understand PyTest. Okay. Let us meet them. Okay, can you try with directly pip install PyTest, not hyphen u, because
Yes,
that
sir.
is
Pip install PyTest is working in my.
okay. Yeah. Some version issues. Let's check that also. Hmm. Okay, I'll have to check this. PyTest my file. This is fine. One. Import and everything is okay. No need to import. Yes. Okay, can you try it on CMD? Just try to open it through the file browser. You can go to if you have the file opened in your browser, this thing file manager. You can open CMD from there. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I had my mic off. I'm sorry. So what should I do? You'll have to tell me,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. You can go to that file manager. Yeah. Just select
Yeah.
it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just write CMD. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now try it here. PyTest.
Okay.
No,
Not
pip install is
install.
okay. Directly PyTest. Yeah. That command.
What was the name?
My underscore file.
My underscore file.py.
Okay. It's not taking the PyTest.
Okay.
Can you do pip install again? Is it working or not?
One way maybe you can create a virtual environment, because
Okay. But
sometimes
is this this should be in the Python shell, no? Or this PyTest will run in the command shell?
no, directly you can work in the terminal. That's what I said,
Okay.
right? So we want to run myfile.py as a test module, not Python
Okay.
module.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So, but does it run on the Python shell also? PyTest? No.
No, Python
Okay.
shell basically. So it's like you're running Python code itself. Okay, this is a shell command.
Okay.
What we call.
So what I'll do is I'll create an environment and do it later on. And if there's a problem, then I'll put it on Discord, sir.
Yeah, but you can. So I mean, I'll be able to help you if you create virtual environment.
Okay, I'll
now,
do that.
because
I'll do that. Yeah.
take one or two commands and then you can continue with this session. Sometimes this happens with even pip. Okay, so there is not an issue. I will come to. I mean, after this, I'll try to give a solution also if this error comes. PyTest not recognized. Maybe for now you can try off with virtual environment. Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little time. So.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Where are we? Week 10, right?
I'm not getting that green dot. I don't know why.
That's okay. You can
Now install.
install PyTest. Okay.
Should I run it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, it's working because
It's working.
you have one error. That error is because you have misprinted EN on the line 1.
Okay. Right.
Okay, so the
Thank you,
PyTest
thank you.
is working. All right,
Thank
so you
you.
can follow along now.
Yeah.
Okay, so those who are facing same issues with PyTest not recognized, just try with virtual environment. Sometimes we install so many libraries and then it okay, so I hope my this is my screen is visible now. I'll be working with this shell only. Okay, but the problem is, so should I continue with this point now? Everyone is on the same page, I guess.
So from where we left,
I just ran the file and then we saw that collected 0 items.
Yeah.
All right. Now we need to understand why it is not able to collect the test cases. Okay. So in order to, in order for the PyTest to collect the test cases, it should understand which one is the simple function and which one is the test case. Okay. And for that, we just have to write test. Okay. So some, the string, the function name that we are creating should have this word test in it. Okay. The moment we do this, then it can, differentiate between a simple function or a normal function and a function that defines the test case. Okay. So if I save it and I run it now, let's see what it collects. Yeah. So now you can see that it has collected one item. Okay. And why is it collecting one item only? Because there is one test case. Okay. Although there are two functions, but there is only one test case. Okay. In myfile.py, it has collected one item, and the dot is a representation of a pass test case. Okay. So you can see that there is one passed in 0.04. So this time you don't have to worry about. We don't need to know where this time comes from. This is the time taken by the system to actually run the test case, check whether it is working or not, and then return the file. So there is one question that is, I guess, in the activity that is based on this thing, right? So you need to check basically whether the test case will give right answer or not, and then based on that you have to answer the question. All right. So this is.
If you can discuss that question, I didn't even understand that. There was a very complicated code put in there.
Okay, we'll do that
Right,
in some time.
So, sir, in the while differentiating between a test case and a normal function, we have to generally write this test word. Then
Yeah.
only it will.
Right. Yeah. So it has to be there. This underscore even is not required. Okay. The
Okay.
test basically has to be a substring of the complete string of function.
Okay.
Sir,
Alright, it has
if
to be
we
there.
if we mention test in this my file too, then we don't have to write the file name also, just the pytest command in the.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
come to that. Okay, so we'll come to that. I'll show you. So basically, what happens? These are there are levels of testing. Okay, so in what level you want to basically perform testing. Okay, now what we have done is within the module we have created one test case, and I wanted to perform that particular test case only. Okay, for example, what did I do here? I had a module name myfile.py. Okay, and in myfile.py there was one test case. Okay, let me do one more test case. Test case 2. All right, and then let's change this number to something else. Can save it. So we know that this is going to fail and this is going to pass. Okay, so I want to show you what it shows when some test cases fail and some test cases pass. Okay, so basically what it does is now you can see that it has collected 2 items. How could it collect 2 items? Because there were tests in 2 test cases. Okay, and then here, if what I said, when the test case is passed, there will be a green dot, but if it is failed, there will be a red F. Okay, so there is one pass and one failed, which can be summarized here also.
Where is green dots?
Just before this one, do you see this red F?
One passed. Sorry, where?
Yeah. So this
yeah.
dot, green dot, you can, you can see in your system when you perform, right? So there will be one green dot and one, capital F. And the test case that is failed will be shown here. What basically happened for the test case to fail, right? So the answer that do math gives is 25, but we are trying to equate it with 19, and therefore this test case failed. Okay, so if the test case, basically the condition that you write after assert, if it fails, the test case will fail, and if the test case is failed, it will be shown in this way. Okay, so you can see that there is a difference in which the module is shown and the difference between which the test session is shown. All right, so you can see that there are the test session starts here, then there are failures. So basically it will give you the idea of which particular test cases failed and what was the issue.
Yeah.
All right, and then there is a short summary giving you the complete the net values, how many failed and how many passed. Okay, is this clear? Any doubt till this point?
No, sir.
Okay, so now we're talking about so I was talking about levels of testing, right? So what we did was a test case based or test case level testing. Okay, so this is within the module, you want to test number of test cases. Okay, or you can also call it module level testing, because I was selecting the module where I wanted to perform test, right? PyTest space myfile.py. Okay, so I specified what kind of module, which particular module I want to go through and select the test cases and perform the test cases. Okay, then there is folder level test cases or folder level testing. So in folder level testing, I will simply write PyTest. I'll go to the directory wherever I want to perform testing, and I'll go to that directory. So I'm already in that directory, week 10, and then I'll just hit, write PyTest and hit enter. Let's see what it shows. Okay, again, it collected 0 items. Okay, why is this happening now? We have given the test cases and everything. Why is this happening? This is because when you do a module, when you do a module level testing, it knows that I wanted to search. I need to search in myfile.py, and within that, I'll go into seeing or go into checking which are the test cases defined within that module. It has nothing to do with what is outside. But when I simply do PyTest, that refers to folder level or directory level testing. Okay, so it will first search for the test modules that are there in the file. Okay, that are there in the folder. So it will first go, okay, if I'll go to the VS Code, and then what it does, it will open week 10, because that is where I've written the PyTest command. So it will search for the files or the modules that can be defined as test modules. Okay. How do I define a test case to be a test case? Actually, by giving this keyword test. All right. But here, similar to that, if I want to consider or I want to mark a particular module to be a test module, what do I have to do? I just have to add test in the name. Okay, so instead of my file, now I'll write test file and I'll also give it a number, let's say 0, because we can have multiple modules now.
What
Okay,
you have
now
done? Test underscore.
yeah, it is test underscore file, which is very similar. The convention is very similar to what we are doing with test case. Okay, now when I save it and I simply go to week 10, that folder, and I simply write PyTest, it should be able to collect the, where is it? Yeah, it should be able to collect the 2 items from test file 0.py. Okay, so initially it was saying 0 items collected because it could not identify which module to choose. Okay, now with the naming convention, we gave it test file, anything. So test has to be there, underscore file 0 can be anything. Okay, so similar to that, I can create multiple files. So it can be test underscore file 1.py.
So last command, it's not running.
Yeah, wait. Okay, so I open this. Now what I'll do is I'll create similar functions here also. Similar functions. So these are similar functions. What I'll do, I'll just change these. So let's say it is 6 and let's say 1. This is 37 and 3,3. So it is, let's say 18. Okay. Now what I want for this to work, what I need to do is I also need to import that do math function, right? So from test, not test case, from test file 0 import to math. Okay, so this is test file 0. We have defined this function here. I'm just importing it. Would have written it here also, but just import it. All right. So these are multiple modules. Okay. So if I want to test, let's say n modules here, m modules here, I don't need to go module wise. I can simply go ahead into the terminal and write PyTest, and you can see that it has actually collected 4 items. How could it collect 4 items? So every time, as I said, items will refer to test cases, right? So there are 2 modules that got selected initially, and within the 2 modules that got collected, there were 4 test cases. So basically it will talk about actually collecting the test cases, right? Now in the test file 0.py, one was passed and one was failed, and in the test file 1.py, both were passed. Okay, so finally, which you will see only the test cases that got failed in the failures, because there is this heading, right? And then in the short summary, you will see that there is, out of the total 4 collected, there is 1 failed and 3 passed. Okay, so this is module level testing. Sorry, this is folder level testing. Okay, when I simply write PyTest,
I have
this
one
is
question.
folder
Sir.
level testing. Yeah, just let me finish. And when we write PyTest space module name, then it will be within that module, it will be test case level testing, okay, or module level testing. Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
So it's just a question: is this library stable? Because I did exactly what you've done, and I'm only getting 1 passed. I mean, it's only going to 1 module. It's not reading the other module.
Okay, so it's not reading the test file 1, is it?
Yeah. So what it's doing is it's the test file 1 is saying 0 test ran if I run it individually, but if I run the other one, it is that one is running fine. That's
Okay, we'll check. Anyone else? Any other doubt?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I'm trying to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Somebody else speaking. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, sir, if we don't put text, means that you have said, na, we have to put text in the beginning. If let's say I will put the text in the middle, then it will not work, I guess, right? It should be always the in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess in the beginning and end. In the middle, I'm not sure. Let's check that. So I'll create, let's say, file 2 underscore test. File 2 underscore test dot py. This is one thing. Okay, so there the test is appearing at the last, and we'll also create one more. Okay. We'll also create one more file where it will be file test3 dot py. Okay, so here the test is appearing in the middle. Let's see if it works for the other two. So I'll just copy the same content. It should be able to collect. So if it is able to collect, then it runs. Otherwise, it won't. Okay, so I'm not changing the test cases as of now because that is not what we are intending to do. Let us try to do that. Right test. So it wait. Yeah, so it collected 6 items. So what are these 6 items? When the test is at the last and when the test is at the beginning. If it is in the middle, it will ignore. Okay, so you can see these 3 items or these 3 modules getting selected.
So do you have to import that in the first line you written? Do you have to import that in every line, every this?
See,
The
I am
fun-
using this function, right? Therefore, I need to import.
Okay, but I'm using different functions, so maybe we can only use the same function, then only it works.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
We'll see your case.
Um,
Okay, so I just was trying to answer the doubts before I stop sharing. Okay,
excuse me, sir.
so yeah, so see, I mean, one conclusion here: the test can be at the at the end of the string, the name, or it can be in the beginning. It cannot be in the middle. Okay, and underscore is not required. I'm just giving you so that there is a differentiation. Okay, that is one thing. Yes, Manan, go ahead.
So, sir, you are taking the test in the middle and it's not working.
No,
But
it's
how it is
not
collecting 6 items?
because every file, see, every test underscore file 0,
Hmm.
it has 2 test
2 test
cases.
cases. Okay.
Okay, test underscore file 1, it has again 2 test cases.
Okay.
File 2 dot test, it has again 2 test cases, and file 3 dot test, it has again 2 test cases.
Hmm.
Okay, so basically 4 modules, 8 test cases, one module getting ignored. So how many? 6 test cases.
One module which is file test 1.
Uh,
I mean,
the ignored one is file test 3.
file test.
Okay, that the test is appearing in the middle, so it is not able to understand that.
So,
Where
sir,
the test,
file 2 test.py will also fail, no? It is also occurring in the middle.
no, file 2 underscore test is at the end of dot. See, dot py is the extension. What is the actual name? File 2 underscore test.
Hmm.
Okay, so the test can be at the end. It can be at the beginning.
So, I didn't get the difference between 2 file names. One is you are saying at the end. So,
See,
the
one is this test underscore file 1. Okay,
okay.
so the test is at the beginning.
Hmm.
The other type is file 2 underscore test. The test is at the end. And the third type is file underscore test underscore 3. So the test is at the in the middle.
Acha, underscore, due to underscore it's in the middle.
Due to underscore 3.
Underscore 3. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Okay, so that
I
is
was,
also a string, right? So that
yeah,
is the reason the third one, this one will be ignored and these two will be collected.
okay.
Okay, so I'll also write that.
So, so either it should be at the beginning or at the end.
Yeah, at
Test.
the beginning and at the end.
Hmm.
All right.
The same for
Yes.
the module level testing also. In the
Yeah, that
beginning.
will work. Right. Yeah. So it can be, so I can create a test case, something like this. Something like this will also work. We can check that. We'll check that also. Where was I writing it? Yeah. File to test. These two corrected.
It's
6
not
items
letting
again.
it.
Wait. It should collect 3 items, right? If it is not collecting, then
Yes,
it is
sir.
not the case. Which one is this? Test 2, file 2.test. 2 only getting collected. Okay, then here we should not do that. Okay, so it should not be at the end, only in the module. In the module it should work, but it is here it's not working. So okay, let's not do that. Okay, let me check this test underscore is 3 and I'll remove the okay. Yeah, so now you can see that it has collected 7 items. All right, so for the the function name, that is not working. Okay, so that will not be working with the function. Okay, but in the module it can be in the beginning and it can be in the end, not in the between.
So in the
Okay, so I'll
function,
write it. I'll just write it here for module name. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll again copy this. Okay, so for module name, the beginning and end will work. Middle it will not work, but for the function only beginning will work. Okay, no end, no middle. Okay.
okay.
I can still make this and this work. I can still do that, but how to do that, I'll come to that. Okay, now I'll briefly share my, stop sharing. I'll ask Vivek to share the screen and see if this issue is still there. All right, so any other issue? Any issue? Vivek, yeah.
Okay, so I've taken that example of the assignment, sir. And this second file is what you're saying. So when I'm running this, if I run this particular this thing, it's running fine. I'm getting this one passed, one failed, and I'm getting the result. But when I run this one, so it's just saying no test ran.
Okay.
And when I just run the whole thing, so I'm just getting one test, which is
okay, can you go to my file? All right.
It's on my file only.
Yeah, see, that is because the functions case 1 and case 2 do not have test in them, no? Line number 5 and line number 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm not. So I have to put test here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been explaining, no?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Then
Okay,
See,
I'll stop sharing.
So if it is, if it is a
Okay.
module name, the test
Yeah.
can be there in the beginning, it can be there in the end, but it will be ignored if it is there somewhere in middle. Okay.
Okay. So now it should work. I'll just save it.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can there be two
Yeah, go ahead.
hello?
Okay,
Okay.
Vivek,
Thank you.
can-
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, anyone
Sir, in
else?
the module name, the ending will not working, I think. It
For
only
module name, ending will work, but for the function name, ending will not work. That is what we have seen here.
okay.
Okay, you can just, you can try along. If there is any issue, there is any confusion, we'll see that. Okay, somebody else was speaking. I heard.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir,
Okay, so see here I have written which will work for module and which will work for function. It is there commented. So when you get this file, you will be able to see this. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can there be two assert statement in one function?
That is not possible, Mohammed. See, the thing is basically assert works as a return. Okay, so in the function, when you write a return, and once the the return statement gets executed, everything after that will be ignored, right? So if the moment I write second assert, what will happen? Or the moment this particular assert runs, let's say I have something like this, okay, two asserts in the function. The moment this assert runs, the function is broken. It breaks. Okay, so the compiler will never move to line number 8. Okay, it is very similar to return. Okay, so the one basically what we need to consider here, one function, one assert. Okay, or one function, one test case. Okay, if you want to run multiple assert, what you can do is you can use if and else statement. Okay, if then this assert, if one condition then assert, if other condition then assert, like that. But ultimately what will happen, only one assert will work for one function. Okay, that is the reason we are creating multiple test cases. Is it fine?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, shall we move ahead now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what have we seen till now? We have seen that there is module level testing, and then there is the complete folder level testing.
Folder level.
Okay, now there are so what are we basically trying to do? We are trying to select the test cases, right? Select test cases based on their names, based on which module they belong to, based on the folders they belong to, right? There are other ways of selecting test cases also. Okay, so what are the other ways of selecting test cases?
We can do it within the function, testing the condition and the branches and.
Right. Yeah. Right. Again, that is module level. So one more things or more further things that are defined with PyTest is something called as keywords. Okay. So we can select multiple test cases based on keywords. Okay. And we can select multiple test cases based on markers. Okay. What are these? We'll see. I'll also show you or give you the example of where these things are useful. Okay, so let us comment this. Okay, now for example, there is a module. Okay, I have this module. Let me just go ahead with this. Okay, I'll rename this because I want this to get selected. Okay, basically, if I want to run, I want this particular, file underscore test underscore 3, this module to get selected even by not changing its name. How will I do it? See, currently the test is in the middle, so it will be ignored. How can I make sure that it will be selected? And I'm not talking about changing its name. Any comments on this?
No idea, sir.
Okay, what was the first thing we did?
My file.
Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll directly run it with its name. Okay, so it got collected. So I mean, first what it will do, the moment I myself give the module, the collection, the ability of PyTest to collect by itself is gone. So I don't have to worry about whether it will collect or not, what will be the name, because I'm myself telling PyTest to, within this module, collect something. Okay, so I have myself given the module name. It will not go to other modules and search. It will not go into the folder and search for a particular module.
So, sir, earlier we were doing PyTest only, and it was checking inside the folder each module. And
Yeah, so that's why we call it folder level testing, right? And in the module level testing, I don't need to even have test within it, right? Because I'm myself providing the, the PyTest, I'm myself providing that, okay, within this module, you have to take, check for the test case. But yes, again, this test in the function name has to be there. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
sir.
That was one question. Now, what we'll do is, now we will try to understand a problem and how to solve it. Okay. So, what is the problem? I'll show you. So, we'll go to this file test 3.py, and what I'm saying is, I'll create two more test cases here. Okay, two more test cases. Let me copy.
so can we also follow you?
Yeah, you can. Okay. So what I've done is, okay, let me change the name also. Okay. So if I want to run this particular, I want to run this particular module, what will I do? I'll write pytest file underscore test underscore 3.py. Okay. All right. How many items will be collected if I try to do that?
4, sir.
4. Why 4? Because it will go through the complete models, complete functions, and then it will check whether the test is there in itself or in the function name or not, and it will select it, right? So with that, I know that, okay, test case 1, 2, 3, 4, all these things all have tests, so it will be selected. Okay. What if I wanted to select only test, the test case 2 and test case 3? What will I do?
So just provide the name of that particular function. When we try to run that in the CMD command.
Mm-hmm. No, but we have given module name, we have given PyTest. Have we given function name anywhere? Functions are collected by PyTest.
Mm-hmm.
Functions are collected by PyTest, right?
Okay.
So you said that 4 functions will be collected. So
Yeah.
how will they be collected? Because they had test in their name. So we never provided, the function names by ourselves. Okay.
We did provide some function names in the file running.
No. In the command.
Yeah, in the command only. We
Okay.
did provide a function name.
So there was PyTest. Then I wrote then I wrote file underscore test underscore 3.py. That's all, right? I did not provide function name.
Oh.
When I did this, it by itself collected 4 items, right? Now I wanted to make sure that only test case 2 and test case 3 that get collected.
Only these 2.
Yeah, only these 2. Okay. So what will I do? This is where keywords come in. Okay. So what will I do? I'll write, let's say, I'll write test cases. Okay. Test cases 2 and test cases 3. What I've done is I've tried to little bit, change their names. Okay. But will they still be selected?
Yes.
No.
Will they still be selected if I do, if this change is done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So again, I'm not able to differentiate these 2 test cases only, or not able to selectively, select these 2 test cases only. Okay. So how do I do that? So for that, we need to use keywords. Okay. Now you can see that the term cases is only there in test case 2 and test case 3. It is not there in 1 and 4. Case is there, cases, plural. It is not there, right? So this is a distinctive feature of this function names. So what I can do, I can use this word cases as a keyword. How do I use it? I'll try to run the same thing, and then I'll write -k and write cases. -k specifies that you are next, you will be putting in a keyword. So what it does, it will run PyTest for file test3.py, and it will select only those test case which has cases in their name. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so you can see that it has collected 4 items, but it has deselected 2. Which ones are deselected?
The case one, singular.
The case one, the singular ones. And it has collected, and the 2 selected are, the cases ones. And both are true. Okay, what we'll try to do is, we kept these 2, true. What I'll try to do is, I'll make this incorrect, both incorrect, so that we know the correct test cases are selected, the incorrect ones are selected. Okay, so what happened? Where are we? Here. So what happened? It collected 2, and 2 got deselected. Why did they get deselected? Because they were not matching with the keyword provided. All right, and the 2 that were matching with the keyword got selected and then tested. When they were tested, both of them got failed, and hence they are, the details of them are given. And finally, in the summary, we can see that 2 failed and 2 deselected. Okay, so these 2 deselected are the ones, case 1 and case 4, and these 2 failed are the cases _2 and cases _3. Okay, this is how you use keyword selectively. I mean, within the valid test cases, you need to select, handful of those. So how do you do that? With the help of keywords. Is this clear?
Can you just show that command again, sir?
Yeah.
Where the cases were tested also. Okay.
Okay, so what I've done, PyTest, then I provided the module name, and within the module name, I asked the PyTest to select only those which have cases in them.
Cases.
As a
okay.
substring.
Right.
Okay. Had it been case, CASE singular, it would have again selected all, right?
Right.
Because anyway, if cases is there, case is already there, right? So it will check, I mean, it will select the function name, and within the function name, it will see, okay, if the string that is given as a keyword is there or not. Okay. Is this clear? Is the keyword clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the final thing that I told was marker. Okay. Now, what are markers? So, markers is very similar to keywords, but with a condition. What is the condition? I said that, okay, so while using keywords, what did I do? I, changed the name of these test cases so that they appear different from others. Okay. What if, but see, the changing of the function name can cause issues, right? Because let's say this function is imported somewhere, or something is done, it has association with some other file or other things, right? What will happen? Changing the name of function might cause issue, right? So let's say there is a constraint that I wanted to select test case 2 and test case 3 only, but now I cannot even change the name of these functions. Did you get the issue here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we had keywords, what did we do? We simply changed the name of function in a way that I can, specifically select that as keyword, and the function will be automatically selected. But that required me to change the name of functions, right? Here, the constraint is I cannot even change the name of function. Okay. Then what will I do? Then I'll use markers. Okay. So what I'll do in the file test to.
Sir, I didn't get that -k option, sir.
-k simply specify. Okay, so -k basically is a flag that says that I'm going to use keyword next. Okay, and whatever value or whatever string that I put will be taken as keyword. So what it does with this, it will try to match where does cases occur in these functions. Okay, what was the initial meaning? Initial name of this function like this, right? Cases _2. cases underscore 3. So what it will do, it will search for cases complete string within this test case 1. So does it find it here? No. Will it find it here? Yes. Will it find it here? Yes. Will it find it here? No. So wherever it will find, it will select those, and wherever it does not find, it will deselect those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened? So these two got selected and then tested. So when these two are tested, will this be correct statement?
Yes.
Will no. So do math 3 3. Will it give 19? Will it be true?
No, it won't.
No. Therefore, the selected one got failed. Another selected one, 12 and 3. Will it give 154? No, it will give 153. So it will again be failed. So what is happening here? If you see the final result, what happened? When I did this PyTest file test3.py -k cases, it started the test session. Okay, it collected 4 items. Why it could collect 4 items? Because everybody had test keyword in them. Okay, so it collected. Then based on the keyword cases, it deselected 2, the first and fourth one, and it selected 2. Whichever are selected, only those will be tested. Okay, so these two are selected. So you can see that both were false, both were failed. So you have 2 capital Fs, right? And you can also see here which one were selected, right? Test cases 2, because the keyword was cases. So definitely test cases 2 and test cases 3 should have been
Pass.
selected, and they got selected.
Yeah.
Okay, both of them got failed. That is the reason I have 2 failed and 2 deselected.
Okay.
Okay, that is about keyword. Now, what was the thing that we did with keyword before actually using cases as keyword? What I did, I changed these names. Okay, so that I can use them as keyword. Okay, because I wanted to differentiate these 2 test cases from all the other test cases, so that I can use them or select them only with the help of a keyword. How did I do that? I added this word cases, so that only in these 2 functions, so that I can select only those 2 functions. Okay, but now what is the constraint here? That I cannot even change the name of these functions. I cannot change the name of these functions, yet I want to select test case 2 and test case 3.
So I have one question here, sir. This I've just now done exactly what you've done, but I'm getting a different result. I'm just getting the summary in that keyword test. 2 selected, 2 failed. I'm not. Is it because of the version of the libraries? Because I checked when you showed your screen, there are different, versions being used. The PyTest is the same, but my Python is 3.11 and Pluggy is 1.2. So
No, that's okay. The thing is, you will anyway get the summary, because that's what PyTest does, right?
I'm
What
only
we
getting
want
the
is-
summary. I'm not getting the details of the test cases. Like what you had shown on your screen, the ones which had failed, I'm not getting. I'm just getting a summary. That's all. 2 selected and 2 failed, and those 2 which were selected had failed. That's the summary which is coming out.
the 2 selected ones are failed or passed.
So I'm getting 2 passed, 2 deselected, and
That's all right. When see what did I say? You will get this information only when there are failures. So you can see that this is fail. If there are no failures, why will it show any test case?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, with the assertion error I'm getting, where am I getting assertion error? What is the issue? Where should I see this? Only in the failed test case. In the past test case, since it is passed, what will I do of it? So the summary that you are getting here must be 2 deselected and 2 passed.
The summary what I'm getting is 2 passed here, 2 deselected. Right.
That's what. So when you have 2 passed, you will not be shown failures.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What you do is purposefully fail a test case and try it again.
Okay. Got it.
So what will happen? The selected, see, one is selection, one is actually running the test on the selected test cases, right? So if they are passing, there is okay. So if you see here, 2 passed and 2 deselected, I did not see anything. That's all.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
This is
when I
exactly what
actually
I'm getting.
failed, Yeah.
Right.
This is because both of them pass. So there is nothing to see.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you fail those, you will see this. So you can see this heading, right? Failures. Failures
Okay.
will
Okay.
only be available when you have a selected test cases failing.
Got it, sir. Got it. Right, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you can what you can do is you can purposefully fail a selected test case, and then you can see the added information.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move ahead now. So we'll, so I was saying that you cannot change the name of test case, yet you want to select test case 2 and test case 3. So how do we do that? We will tag it. Okay, so tagging test case 2 and test case 3 will make sure that it gets selected by itself. So what is this tagging? This tagging is nothing but the marker. Okay, so what I have to do is I just have to, now I need to import PyTest because I will be using something that is defined in PyTest. Till now I was not using PyTest. I did not import PyTest because I was, explicitly using PyTest here in the command prompt itself, like this. Okay. So when I was using PyTest here, I did not, I need not have PyTest imported within the module. Okay. But now since I'll be using the defined method or defined object of a PyTest, that is marker, I will need to import it. Okay. Now after importing, how will I tag these two test cases? So what I'll do is I'll use a decorator PyTest dot mark dot, and this dot can have any keyword which I want to select these two functions. It can be anything. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just write my selected ones. Okay, so it can be anything, any string. It can be a very small string also. It can simply stop at my also. But I'm just giving you, this larger string so that you understand. Okay, and this has to be added to this test case also because I wanted to select test case 2 and test case 3. Okay, did you get this thing? What I did, I just imported PyTest and I used this decorator and I tagged this. Using this decorator for the function is tagging this function to be selected with the help of marker. Okay.
So
now what I'll do is
PyTest.mark is the class. And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
PyTest is the class, mark is the object, and this is something that you can provide.
You can get. Okay. Okay. Right.
Okay. Now how do I use this? Okay. So what will I do? I'll go to PyTest, my this thing, my test 3.py. Now I'm using marker, not the keyword. I'll use -m, and then I'll write the keyword my selected ones. Okay, so this, you can see that this is the exact same thing that I've used here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So sir, you have written PyTest first, then file name.py, file test3.py, then what you have written? -m.
-m. Yeah, this is a flag that says that the following string will be a marker, not a keyword.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now you can see that it again collected 4 items. It deselected 2 and it selected 2. Within the two selected ones, both of them failed. Since one of the or both the selected test case is failing, I'll have this failure, right? And now you can see that the test case 2, it is not test underscore cases underscore 2. So we can make sure, we can, verify that they are not getting selected by keyword, they are getting selected by marker. Okay. Same thing. And later on, if you ignore this warning for a minute, you can see that there are 2 failed, 2 deselected, and 2 warnings. Now, what are these warnings? I'll show you. I'll let you know. Just tell me if this is clear.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So this is how you select. Yeah.
We have 2 failed functions and 2 deselected because they didn't have because we didn't apply.
We did not tag them. Yeah,
tag
so
them,
we did not tag them, right? So test case 2 is tagged. So this makes sure that even when the the
name is not
function
changed.
names are same, the function names follow the same method of writing, there cannot be any keyword explicitly specific to that function, you can still tag them with the help of marker and still select them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is about failing and deselecting. Now, what is this warnings? This warnings, what does it say? That you are using something that is unknown. What is unknown here? My selected ones. Okay, because PyTest is the class that we're using. Mark is defined. Okay, it is a defined object. But every time I use this as a new variable, it says that, okay, you're trying to use a marker that is already not defined. You can use it, no issues, but it is not defined. Do you want to define it? Or do you want to register it with the module? If you register it, this warning will not be shown. Okay, but it's not that it is an issue. It is not that it is an error. It is just a warning. Okay, it says
How do you
that
register it?
the marker that you're trying to use will work, but it is not a registered or defined marker within the PyTest.
Okay, clear.
Okay, therefore we have these warnings.
So they are
Now,
registered.
if even I don't want to register this because there can be, multiple people can use multiple markers. Okay, and how many such markers I'll keep on registering. Okay, so I don't want to register any of the markers, but I don't want these warnings either. Okay, because this is adding unnecessary text to my output. So what will I do? I'll just do the same thing, but I'll do this also. You can see that now I have everything, but the warnings are not shown. It just shows here 2 warnings. Okay, so we have suppressed the warnings. Okay, disable, I mean hyphen disable hyphen warnings. So it will suppress the warnings and it will give you only that is relevant. Okay, and in the summary, you know that, okay, there are 2 failed, 2 deselected and 2 warnings because you are trying to use markers that are not registered. Okay, any issues till this point?
So that means there are some registered
still
standard
there in the call?
markers.
Hello, sir.
Okay, any
Hello.
issues till this
Sir,
point?
I'm getting still the
Anybody
warning.
stuck anywhere?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
I don't think you can
Hello.
hear us.
Am I audible?
So
Yeah,
can you
yes,
hear
sir.
us?
Hello.
Can't hear us.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible now, Manan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was just
So-
asking if there is any issue till now.
Issue was that I couldn't able to disable the warnings. I mean, it's still showing the warning.
Okay, what command did you give?
This same command, then in the end, hyphen, then disable warnings.
Disable hyphen warnings.
Disable hyphen. Still, it's not working.
No, so there are 2 hyphens here, then disable, then hyphen, then warnings. Okay, and see, sometimes what it shows is it still shows, the previous part. So scroll to the bottom.
Can I share my screen, sir, for a second?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so you don't see warnings, no?
There it is, no?
No. Yeah, so you gave your No, so here you gave your command here, and then you see that there are no warnings.
There are no warnings.
The warnings are suppressed.
Okay, still it was showing 2 warnings.
No, that it will show because it is a summary, right?
Okay,
What we are trying to suppress is those yellow large statements that is adding to nothing.
Just remove that disable
Right.
and you'll, yeah, this is the one. Yeah.
this is the one. This is not now showing, right?
Yeah, so it will still show in the summary. It will show 2 warnings, but
Okay.
actual what are the warnings and everything that will not be shown.
Okay, okay, sir. Sorry, I thought it was showing in the summary, so I thought.
No. We are just trying to suppress the text. That's all. But I mean that warning is important because we might want to register some marker, right?
Okay,
So
okay, sir.
how are these markers registered, sir? You can just go and register, or they are standard markers which are there in the library?
There are. I don't think there are standard markers because see, the purpose of marker is to tag a particular test case, right?
Right.
To register, we might have to go to documentation and check. I'm not sure as of now because I have not done it anytime, and we never need it, right?
Okay. Right. Clear.
Yeah. So I'll maybe in the files that I share later, I'll give you a pointer to how to register a particular marker.
Registration means
So basically, what registration meaning basically defining a marker which you can reuse later, and it will not throw warning.
acha.
Okay, but
So this selected one which was we did that wasn't registered.
no,
mark.
that was just a string that we created here itself to tag multiple functions. That's all.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right.
So this one question, sir. This marker when you register, they will be global or globally they're applicable, or only when you put a decorator?
Globally
So is it?
applicable.
I mean, is it open source? This is.
I didn't get.
So if I register a marker, so will it be that I will not get a warning, or anyone who uses that marker will not get a warning?
I think it will be only you.
Okay.
Yeah, because that will be. I mean, that will be the module. I mean, it will be registered to the module installed in your system.
Got it.
Right. It is not getting added to the actual PyTest documentation.
Okay.
Okay, how do we register that? We'll see. I mean, I'm not sure as of now, but if there is a part or piece of documentation that gives the idea on that, we'll have a light on it. Okay, now what we will do is, okay, so should I move forward?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'll share the screen. Yeah, now what we can do is, let's say, okay, so let's say here we have 4 test cases, right? What if there are multiple test cases, right? So I cannot go ahead and keep on tagging and tagging and tagging, right? So I have, let's say, 50 test cases total, and I want to select 15 of those or 30 of those. I cannot keep on tagging them, or I cannot, and the name cannot be changed. That is the constraint now that is ever there, right? And name cannot be changed. I cannot, and the marker, the issue with marker is I will have to, personally go to each and every test case and keep on, marking them or tagging them. All right. So that is again, as far as optimization is concerned, as far as the, the fastness of the code is concerned, that will be hit. Okay. And efficient, it will not be very efficient. So what will be the other way of doing it? Other way of doing it is to define a class. Okay. So that is class level testing now. So we have seen various levels of testing, folder level testing, module level testing, test case or function level testing, right? Selecting them with marker, selecting them with keyword. Now we'll see grouping of multiple test case into a single thing, single body, and that can be done with the help of class. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll remove this marker. Okay, I'll leave these markers here so that you have text, I mean the content with you. I'll go to this particular file, test underscore file 1. All right, and in the test underscore file 1, what I'll do is I'll create more test cases. Okay, so let's say there are 4 and again 6 test cases. Okay, all giving different values. I'll just change these. Six. Okay, so there are 6 test cases, and I want to select these 3. Okay, now 3 may not be a very large number, but consider that there is a large number of functions that you want to select. All right, and you cannot keep on tagging them. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll keep all this function in a class. Okay, again, if I want a particular class to be selected, I'll have to write it, or I have to give this prefix test. Okay, every time we gave a test that was small t, here we'll give capital T because naming convention of class. Okay, so we generally write a class name with capital, starting with a capital letter, right? Therefore, this test will be capital. Okay, so if I write test underscore class, okay, what it will do? This will select this particular class. Okay, and here, what are the other change that I need to do is, since this function now becomes a class method, I need to provide self here. Okay, everywhere.
There's no init in this. You don't have to initialize.
No, we don't need
No,
to,
no.
because init function is when you see init function is used when you want to create object,
Yeah,
right? Constructor.
construct.
Init function acts as a constructor, but here we are using a class method. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
I will not be using this class to create any object of this class.
Okay.
Sir, how
Right?
you
So when
give
I
this?
want to
Sorry, how you give this indentation, sir?
nothing, I just selected them, all the 3 functions. I selected and gave a tab.
Tab. Okay.
Okay, now if I want to bring that back, give a shift tab. Sorry, something else happened. Shift tab.
Shift tab and tab for selecting.
Tab takes it to the right, shift tab takes it to the left.
Okay.
All right, so what happens now, these all these 3 test case functions have now become methods for this class. All right, now what I'll do, I'll simply, so when this is done, okay, let us give another class to these functions also. Okay, so I'll do test class 0 and test class 1. Okay, and everywhere I'll write self. Okay, is that okay? So I've created 2 classes. Now what I can do is, if I want to, if I want all these test cases to get selected, I'll simply run this class. If I want all these test cases to get selected, I'll simply run this class. Now it doesn't matter how many test cases are there or how many are not, right? So this is how I can group multiple test cases into class and then run the class. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply go to this particular file. Now I don't need this marker and everything. Okay, and what will I provide? I'll provide. Okay, I'll
The
provide.
file name has changed.
I still have.
File name has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, test file 1. Test file. Is this a name? Okay,
No,
test
just
file
one.
1. No, understood. Okay, and that class name is to be used as a keyword. You can see that I'm still using -k, but this class name, I mean this -k, generally it can be a substring of function, right? But here when I'm using it as a class, when I want to select multiple test cases with the help of class, I can use -k and give the name of class that I want to select. Okay, let's see what happened. Yeah, so what it did with this, it collected 6 items, it deselected 3 and selected 3, and that's what we were expecting. Now out of the 3 selected, it will run 3 and okay, all the 3 passed. So since all the 3 got passed, I will not see any other further information. I'll directly jump on to summary. Okay, if I want to see more information, what will I do? I will try to fail these test cases. Okay, so when you want to select multiple test cases or a class, you can use it the way we have used keyword. So -k and then give the name of test class. Okay, so now you can see there are more details now, right? So 6 items collected. Why 6 items collected? Because that particular module, test file 1, had 6 test cases. So 6 got collected. 3 got deselected because they belong to other class. And 3 selected that belong to this test class 0. Out of the 3 selected, 1 got passed and 2 got failed. Okay, so the failures I'll see about the, I'll see about the 2 test cases, right? Only the failed ones. Okay, and then in the final, in the summary, I'll see that okay, there are 2 failed, 1 passed, and 3 deselected. Okay, so this is how you can select multiple test cases with the help of classes. Any issue till this point?
No,
So this is
clear.
class level testing.
Yes, sir. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now what we'll do is I'll create another file. Okay, and since I want this file to be collected, I'll write its name to be test. Okay, test underscore fix dot py. Okay, test underscore fix dot py. So why fix? Because we are going to study what fixtures are. Okay, so it is very simple thing. Fixtures are basically fixtures are used basically when you want to provide a function or an output of a function as an argument to a test case. Okay, what did I say? Output of a function as an argument to the test case. Till now, what is happening? Till now, we did not, it did not even provide any argument to the test case, and we don't need to, because the function that we were using inside that had, arguments and everything. Okay, but what if I want to use, what if I want to provide a function as an input or as an argument to the test case? There I'll use fixtures. Okay, now why do I need to provide function at the first place? Okay, since the test case by itself is, it is basically nothing but an assert test statement getting checked or getting checked, right? Whether it is right or wrong. Okay, why will there be a need to provide function as an argument to a test case? Okay, that is the question. So we'll try to answer that question and then we'll see how fixtures. Okay, so you can see that in test case 1, test case 2, or all the test case that I've created till now, I was using do math as the function. Okay, I was using do math as the function, and this do math function was getting run every time, right? It was run every time the test case was triggered, right? So if I had, let's say, 12 test cases, this do math function will be triggered 12 times, right? In this case, it is okay because the arguments are different. But what if my function gives a result that remains same every time? Okay, it is giving a result that remains same every time, and then the test cases are checked. So what will happen? Every time I pass on the function, or every time that function is within the test case, that function will run again, giving the same result again and again and again. So that reduces the efficiency of the application, efficiency of the model. Okay, I'll show you with the example. So we'll go to our testfix.py. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so I've we'll do it again. All right, so what is this with fixture? So what I want to do is I want to create a function. Let's create a function, say output x Okay, so it takes an argument. Okay, and what is the result it gives? Series is an empty list. Okay. Okay, so what is this function? This is a function that takes an input, okay, takes an input argument x, okay, and it returns a series up to numbers up to that x. Okay, so let me first test this function if it's working fine. Right. Okay, I just want to check this. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll write Python because I want to run that module. Python test underscore fix dot py. Okay, so you can see that if I've entered 10, it will give me 0 to 9, right? So it is working fine. Output of 10. So what I'll do is I'll append I plus 1. Okay, this is better. So if I write 10, it will keep on adding 1 to 10. That's all. That is what I wanted to do with this series. Okay. Now with this particular function, I'll try to create test cases. Okay. So this will be, let's say, test underscore 0. Okay. And I want to check whether assert 6 in output 50. Okay. Did you get this? What did I write? I've written a test case that checks if 6 is there in output 15. Okay. Yeah. Somebody speaking?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. Now I'll write one more test cases. One more test case. Test 1 that checks if 10 in output 15, and I'll write one more test case that checks if 20 in output 15. Okay, so what I've written, I've created a function and I have written, yeah, these two will change this also. Okay, let's give it 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3. Okay, so I've created 3 test cases. Okay, let's try to test this. I've not done anything new here. I have not used fixtures. Okay, I'll show you, but let me just test this, what it shows. So what we'll do, again, Python. So here we will be now testing it. So what I'll do is I'll write pytest text underscore fix dot py. Yeah. So what will happen? It will collect 3 items, right? And it will pass 2 because 6 and 10 will be there and 20 will not be there, right? So 1 failed, 2 passed. That's all, right? But what is the issue here? What is happening here? Every time for this test case also, it will be running the same function, printing and running the same for loop and appending it same time. Every time I write this output 15, it will run and run the test case. All right. So it will run the function, and you can see that with 15 as an input, the output will always be same. Right. It is unlike other cases. I was using do math function, but the arguments were different every time, so output was expected to be different. But here in test fix, Since I'm providing only one function, the output is different. Now we are taking examples that are very simple, right? But it is possible that there are functions that always run for the same, run for the same input and take a lot of time, right? So what will happen every time for a test case, this running of the function is happening, is kept on happening, right? So what is how do I optimize it? What will I do? I know that the output 15 is giving me a series, and that series is same. That series is constant. It is not changing. And this output 15, whatever is the output of this function, instead of running it 3 times, what if I ran it 1 time only and pass it as the input to this test case? Are you getting this? The difference between
Yes, sir.
these two?
Yes, sir.
Right? So instead of running it 3 times, I want to run it 1, and whatever is the output, I'll give it to this test cases so that it checks whether this number is there in the output series or not.
Basically, it checks the number in the list. So you put
Yeah.
instead of output, just put the list.
Let us put the list. Okay. This is where fixtures come in. So what is happening here? Basically, I'm trying to, what will happen here? I'll try to run this function and pass on its output within this 3 functions as an argument. Okay. And how can I do that? With the help of fixtures. Okay. Are you, is the issue clear here? Why we are exactly needing fixtures? Okay. Then only
Yes,
we'll
sir.
try to understand why,
Sir,
the use of fixtures.
In times.
Sorry, your
So
voice broke.
fixture.
Hello. It's still
Sir,
breaking. I'm not sure if it
am
is
I
for
audible
me or
now?
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Yeah, sir. In this setup, the output function is called 3 times. And by using the fixture, we are running this output function only 1 time, and then we are checking. That's the problem.
Right. That is
Am I
the
saying it?
that's what we are trying to do. Okay, because you understand the problem here, right? Running single function that is expected to give same output several times, right? So with the help of fixtures, what we do, we run it, and then we give the we directly give the function to the test case. How do we do it? Do that, I'll show you. Okay, just try to note the differences in the two codes. Okay, so I'll write import PyTest. Why? Because I'm trying to use fixtures now. So it is a defined object of PyTest. So I'll need to import PyTest. Okay, and then the way I use marker, similar to that, I'll use fixture. So it will be @PyTest dot fixture. All right, and with that, what is the input here? 15. So I'll just provide x equals to 15 because this is doing it for 15. All right, and then this output will be provided as argument. Okay, so this is what I meant by providing argument to the test case, providing function as an argument to the test case. Okay, and now that it is provided as argument, I don't need to run it. See, parenthesis it is called. When I don't use parenthesis, it is not called. Okay, so what I've done here, I've used fixture, I've run it here itself, and I've passed whatever is the output. So whatever is the output of that function, okay, after running will be passed on, okay, and then will be tested here. So I can use this function which is passed on as an argument as a variable within the function, right? So this is what is fixture. Okay, now I save
Basically,
it.
this output is acting like that series. The series.
Yeah. So this output will, what will happen actually? It will run, and when I pass on this output as an argument, this is basically you run it, and whatever is the output, it will be replaced by that.
Got it.
Okay, so basically, ultimately, when the test runs, it will be asserting 6, whether 6 is in series like that, rather than output. Got it, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now let us again test that. Okay, so you can see that same thing is happening, but the function is running only once. Okay, 2 items getting passed, 1 getting failed, but the function is running only once. Okay, so 1 failed, 2 pass, and 14. So this is how fixtures work. Okay, now if somebody does not understand fixture, what do we do? I want to do the same functionality, but I don't understand fixture. What do I do? Okay, if you have got the actual issue why we are using fixture, you should be able to solve this. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to avoid running of function again and again. So what will I do? I will not use this fixture. I'll not use this. I'll not import PyTest. Okay, I'll not pass output as argument. Remove it. Okay, what I'll do is, my function is defined, right? I'll just run it once. Okay, I just ran it once, and now I'll replace this output with series. Same thing will happen. Function ran once, you got the series, you got it saved, and now it will keep on asserting with the series rather than function. Same thing. Okay, and now you can notice that when I use fixture, the time taken was 0.14 second. When I did not use it, I just ran it, the time taken is 0.12 second. Okay, so it is better optimized. But that will not be the case if the function is very complex. Okay, so basically what is happening here, which is much simpler code, is what is being done by the fixture. Okay, is this clear?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll comment this and I'll keep the fixture code open, right? Because it should be visible. Right? Okay, so this is about fixture. So what did we cover till now? We covered module level testing. Okay, complete folder level testing. Then we segregated out test cases with the help of keywords, with the help of tagging with markers, right? Then after that we did class. Okay, differentiation with the help of classes. Then fixtures. This is all we saw. Any issues till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Now what we'll do is, we'll take last 15-20 minutes. What we'll do is we'll create a small application and we'll test that application. Okay, so this is, I mean, you saw this and everything. We created test cases, we created small function there itself. That is okay, but how do you test a real web application is something that we'll see. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just create a function, an application, app.py. Okay, app.py created. I'll create a small Flask application. Okay, so I'll quickly do that, and there is no explanation needed here, so I'll quickly do that from. Okay, and then okay, so what I'm basically trying to do is I'm creating a route that gets me the information from a defined list or defined dictionary. Okay, so let's say I write my info. Okay, so my info is a dictionary. Okay, and what will be the information in that? Let's say name, or let's say ID. Okay, so you can relate it with the database, right? So in a database, basically what is being stored? ID, name, age for a user, right? So ID, let's say 101. Okay, then I have name. Okay, so let's say like mad1. Okay, and let's say there is age. Okay, so that's about it. All right, so this is my info. All right, now what does get name function does? It simply, so when I go to this endpoint, it returns this my info. Okay, it returns my info. Okay, and since it is a dictionary, I guess it can be returned. So we'll see if that is returned or not. Okay, and simply app.run with the debug equals to true. Okay, so this is one function. Is that okay? Now what we'll do is we will add one more endpoint. Let's say let us add one more endpoint. App.route add. Okay, add, and let's say we'll add this with method post. Post. All right, and get. Okay, although we don't need it, but okay, let's do both get and post. Okay, so what it basically does is it adds a new information to this dictionary MyInfo. Okay, so what I do, it will take some data. Okay, so what will it take? It will take, let's say, ID. Okay, so when the request method is post, where do I get the data from? And it get the data in the form of form.
Form.
Right? It is a form. So right, request dot.
You can create the form here only, sir. You put a return and make the form here.
Sorry, didn't get.
So the form can be created here only. I mean, you don't have to create an HTML file. You can.
Yeah. No, so I have a better method. What we can do is take the information as URL. Okay, rather than taking the information form. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll let's write this values equals to request dot
Arth, right?
All right, and then what we'll do, we will add these values to the info. So what I'll do is write my info. And that is one dictionary, right? So okay, let us make it a list. Okay, so this is my info is actually a list that has this dictionary. Okay, so with this, what I'll do is create new dictionary called new info, which is an empty dictionary. Okay, and what I'll do is here I'll write. I'll explain the code. I'm writing it in a bit hurry, but I'll explain the code. What I've done is there is a my info dictionary that has one entry already, right? So 101, mad1 and 2. Okay, so it has ID, name, and age. So it is a list of dictionaries. Okay, and so basically there is one route that returns only the my info list of dictionaries, right? And then there is another route that adds. So how do we give this information? With the help of this command, what we call URL. Okay, so therefore we are using request.args. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm creating a temporary dictionary, and in that dictionary I'm adding this ID, name, age, which will be getting through URL, okay, or data. All right, and that data we will be adding here, right?
So
In the
could you zoom in?
Okay, and then we'll append that newly formed dictionary into the already existing list, and then we will return added successfully. Is that fine?
Fine, sir.
Okay, so with that, I don't think we will be using this post method also, but okay, let's leave it that as it is. Okay, so I'll just save it. This is my application. Okay, this is my application. I want to test whether this endpoint works perfectly or whether this endpoint works perfectly. So what will I do? I'll write test cases for this application. Okay, we know this, right? We know what is happening here, what will happen here, how this will work on web and everything. Okay, but now what we want to do is, as an auto grader, as an auto evaluator, I want to create test cases to see whether this function works correctly or not. Okay, so I need to check whether this endpoint is fine. Is this working fine? I need to check whether this endpoint is fine. It is working fine. All right, so what will I do? I'll write test cases for this. Okay, and that will write with the help of new file. Okay, so I'll just open a new create a new file that will be, let's say, test_app.py. okay, so test_app.py. test_app.py. Where is that? Here. Here I'll be writing the test cases, right? What we did here, test file underscore here, what we did, the actual, no, not here, here. The actual function and the test cases were there in the same file. Okay, but that will not be the case with web application, right? You created web application, we created test cases, right? These were two different files. So what will happen? For this app.py, I'll be writing test cases in test_app.py. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. So first, now for this application to check whether your application is working fine or not, I should be able to see, I should be able to visit the URLs that you have created, right? Visit the endpoints that you have created.
Yes.
And I need to have a programmatic way of visiting the endpoints, right? With your application running at one end. So for that, we have something, we have a library called as requests. Okay, I hope you have heard about this, but this is a library that helps you to make, a request to a particular endpoint with a particular HTTP method. Okay, I'll show you how. So we'll import that, import requests, right? And then I'll start creating the test cases. So the first test cases, let's say test app 1.
Sir, this request library is the standard Python, or we need to install this?
Yes, it is standard. It is standard Python libraries. We don't need to install it.
Okay.
Okay, it is a standard Python library that allows you to make HTTP requests with HTTP verb. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll write a response. You can make it any variable. I've just created one variable called response. All right, and then what will I write here? I write request.get. So note that the form and everything that we were using, that had only request. Okay, we are using now requests. All right, and the object that we are using are HTTP words. So it can be request.get, request.post, request.put, request.delete, like that. Okay, and since I'm using a request here, request.args, I need to import it. Yes, I'll just save it here. Okay, now in the test tab, request.get, what am I requesting to? I'm requesting to this endpoint. Which endpoint? /c. Okay, but /c is just a endpoint. I need to make a request to a URL. So what will I have to do? I'll have to mention the complete URL. So it will be http://127.0.0.1:5000/c. Okay, and then I'll assert. I need to check when will I say that this endpoint is working fine.
When you get the response as 200.
Yeah. So when I get a 200 status code, so what will I write? Response. So response is an object. It will have multiple, attributes. What one of its attribute is status code. Status code. I think it is status_code. We'll check that. And I need to assert it to 200. Right? Because if this works fine, I should be able to get a 200 status code. Are you getting what we are trying to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when this application is running and I go to this test app, when I try to run this test app, if I get a 200 status code, this test case will pass. If this test case pass, I can make sure that, or I can say that this endpoint is working. Okay. That is how your AutoGrader is created. Okay. So we'll just save it. Okay. And when we'll run this application, because for request to fetch information from the server, this application should run. Okay, so we'll run using new terminals. It's Python app.py. Okay, method. It's methods. Plural. Okay, now that my application is running here, what will I do? I'll go to my command prompt and I'll write pytest test app.py, right? And enter. Let's see. Okay, it got 500. Something happened at my application. View function did not return valid response. It was a list. Okay. All right. I have a I have a old Flask. What happens with old Flask? It does not allow list to be returned. The new Flask will do this. Have you have you followed along everything which I've done? Somebody has followed?
Yes, sir.
Can you try? What does it show?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so basically you can see that my application has thrown an error. Okay, if it has crashed, what is the status code it will return? 500, right? And I can see that in the test case also it is giving me failed, right? So it has given assertion error. Why? Because I got 500 as the application returned 500 and I was trying to test it with 200. Okay, so this test case got failed.
So can we put the other case also?
Which one?
The other route, the post route.
Yeah,
the
we'll
other,
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, now what I'll do, so we'll go to test app.py and we'll try to create the other endpoint. Another test case. We'll write def test test_app_2 response equals to request.get. I will not be using post because we have not triggered post method, right? If you note this app.py, you can see that I have not returned if request.method equals to post.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Then it'll be the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will be get method only. Right?
If
so
it was post, then I put dot post. And
dot post.
And status code would be 201, right?
201.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what will I do? Now I'll provide the endpoint. I'll just write it for you. It will be HTTP. Okay, let me just copy it from here. That is okay. We'll copy it from here. Okay, and then what is the actual endpoint we have created? Here it is /add, and then we have to provide all the information as a parameters. How do we do that? /add, then we give question mark. Okay, then it will be ID equals to, let's say, 102, and name equals to mat2, and age equals to, let's say, 1. So this will be my complete request. Okay, so when I do that, I'll assert /201. Okay, let's check that. Here we have to run this function first. Okay, now we go to, okay, so again it will throw error. So what I'll do is I'll comment this. Okay, I'll comment and save it. Now I'll try again with that. Yeah, so you can see that it collected one item because I commented that and it got passed. All right, because here you can see that the status code that was written is 201, and that's what I wanted to check. Right, now there is one more thing that I can test. Okay, instead of status code, what I'll test is response dot.
So the status code I did not understand. Why did you put 201? Because the return was 201 in the
Yeah, because so see what happens is generally if you I mean when you create API, also when you have created week 6 lab assignment, what happens is whenever you add a resource to a database with the help of post method, the resource was 201 created, right? The return status code. So that is a convention. It's not that 200 is wrong, but whenever you create a resource in the database, in our case the database is this dictionary, list of dictionaries, right? So when you create a new resource, you should return a 201, because 200 by itself is not a more intuitive. 200 is just that your the response is returned successfully.
Right, sir.
Okay, so that's why I explicitly returned 201. If I had not done that, it would have written 200. Okay, so in the app.py, what will I do? I'll go to this. This is successfully added, right? So this successfully added. Instead of successfully added, I'll write successfully created, because I wanted to fail. Okay, now let's try it again. You can see that it got failed. It collected and it got failed. So it is asserted successfully added. How did this come? Response.text. Okay, now let us see one more thing. Yeah, so what will I do? I'll make a small correction here. Instead of returning my info, I will return my info 1. Let's say, okay, let's try to return my info 1. Okay, and let's see what it returns. Okay, and in the text app, I'll just open it. I just want this to be. Now there is one more thing, something called as JSON, response.json. I'll open it to it, keep into an empty dictionary. I want it to fail, but what is this response.json? See, this endpoint is actually returning the first indexed dictionary, right?
Right, sir. Right.
And when I do this add first and then go to C, I should be able to get that first, because my info will be updated. Okay.
Right.
So since I reran it, what I'll do is first I will go to testapp.py. and I'll change the sequence of these two. Because for actually looking at it, we'll first create the resource and then check the resource. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, got it. Yeah, but we can see that. Yeah, so we can see that we are getting the items, and we are. So this is the thing that we created, right? ID age 1, ID 102, and name at 2. This is what we created with the post request. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll correct this. Successfully added. Successfully added, because I want this to pass, right?
Yes, sir.
So now you can see that the first test case is passing because I could successfully add it, but the next case is failing because I'm comparing it with an empty dictionary. Okay, if I use this only, I'll just copy this and I'll copy it here. And then again, if I run this, yeah, now both are passed. So the score is 100. Okay, this is how we create test cases.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how we are using PyTest and request library to actually create autograder for your lab assignments. Okay, so this is how we test applications. I hope this is clear.
Clear, sir, and very interesting also.
Yeah,
So
right.
these live sessions are much better than the lectures, sir. So
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. That's okay. All right. So we are. So yeah. So you can watch this session later. Again, try with your end, and then if there are any issues, we'll try to clear on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, I have a
Yeah,
doubt. When we are
Hmm.
testing for the post, we are adding something in the application database. So for the testing, the database should be different, or I think it's not right to add the append something in the original database while testing.
No, see let's say you see the thing is till now you have worked on application rather than testing, right? So if you are working on application and you want to test it, you can create your own test cases, right? So that might add or subtract or delete some things from database, which is not an issue for your case, for local case. But if you want to see what would I do if I want to test an application and I don't want to make any changes to the database, what will I do? I'll create a resource, then I'll get the resource, I'll update the resource, and I'll delete the resource. Right?
Okay.
So that should be the sequence. First you create, okay, then you read, then you update, then you delete. So what will happen? The database will not be there is no change happen in the database. You have tested all your test cases with respect to creating, deleting, updating, reading.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You getting now? Did I clear your doubt?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, now what is happening here in the get, we have used get both the ends, but what we can do is we can change if request dot method equals to post and do the same thing. But what will happen when I use request dot method equals to post, the information that we are passing on to the server goes as request body rather than URL, right? So there, what will I do? Instead of using request dot ask, I'll use request dot form dot get. Okay, and how will I modify this? Instead of passing here as a part of URL, this will be something like this: data equals to then the dictionary that I provided, something like this.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and this get will change to post. So what will happen? If in request.form you have used age, it will take 1. If you have used ID, it will take 102. If you have used name, it will take mat2. Okay, did you get what I said just now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what we are doing, what if this was post method? If the addition was done with post method, what would be the test case? What would the test case look like? That's what we did. Okay, so I'll just comment it and I'll just copy it. paste it here as test app 3 and comment it. Okay. I'll write for post. Okay, but I'll change this back to get. Okay, and the URL will change to add only, but it will change to the question mark thing. So it was, I guess, ID and name and age. Okay, so this was the request. Okay, so this is the application, and this is how we create test cases. For the test cases to run successfully, the application has to first run. Okay, I close the application, but it has to first run. Okay, we can programmatically also run the application in a new thread, but I guess that is not required because we just want to understand testing rather than how the actual process. Okay, is this clear? Any issues till this point?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So with that, if there are no more doubt, we'll stop the session. This is what I wanted to give in today's session. Okay.
So activity question.
Which one?
Mm.
Can you share the screen? Or tell me the number. I'll try to share the screen. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So what was which question was that? Activity question.
So 10.4.
10.4. Question number 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the problem is the second, right? Test sum num.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So basically, this the everything that is followed within a dictionary. Okay, num for num in range 1 to 50 if num not equals to 1 and not any num divisible by 0 for div range 2 to num. This
Sir,
is
please share
basically,
your screen. It's not
sorry,
visible.
one second. Is this visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just try to, okay, it's not coming. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just create a new file here. Okay, file.py. Okay, and I'll try to copy this. Okay, num for num in range 1 to 50.
Sir, I have done it. I can paste it.
Okay, can you paste it on chat?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually print what this long statement mean. Okay, so I'll go to terminal. Okay, let's say if my command prompt is open and there, check there. So it is Python file.py. What do I get? It is basically a set of prime numbers between 1 and 15. Okay, so basically this code creates a set of prime numbers between these two numbers, that is 1 and 50. Okay, and what is that test case checking? If 46 is a prime number or not. Therefore, it is failing. Okay, so if you see the question, assert 46 in, right? So if I see this, range, you don't need to even know whether it is prime numbers or not. You should have just tried printing this. Okay, and what is the output? The output is this. Is 46 in this list? No. So assert is failed. Okay, so basically we have used a complex way, that is list comprehension, to write prime numbers between two numbers, that is 1 and 50. So this is the list of all the prime numbers between 1 and 50, and hence 46 being a composite number will not be a prime number. Hence the test case is failing. That is the question. That's all.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Now if you see now I hope you understood this structure. Right, 2 failed in 0.56, 1 pass, 1 failed. What is this? This is what we have been doing till now, right? This thing.
Only the seconds are differing. I think it depends upon the hardware you're using.
So I wrote that is the 0.56 is something that was random, right? We could not have assumed. Therefore, in the question statement we have given, what will be the output on console, assuming that the code executed in 0.56 seconds.
Right.
Okay, therefore the information on that is given so that this 0.56 does not cause any confusion. So basically we had to figure out if it is 2 failed, 1 pass, 1 failed, 2 pass, like that. Clear now, this question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Is that all? Right, and when there is one very simple and very simple question on fixture, so you can have a look at that and solve it. That is very easy. All right, so I hope this helps. This session you can go through again. In the next session, Saturday's session, we'll see something related to security. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. All right, so with that we'll close this session. All right, happy weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.